California Governor Gavin Newsom has given his approval to Assembly Bill 1033, which paves the way for ADUs to be sold separately from the main home that they're connected to. This essentially allows the creation of 2 or 3 unit condominiums on properties that used to be only for single family. However, there's more to this bill than meets the eye. Don't worry, I've combed through this entire bill so that you don't have to. Assembly member Phil Ting from San Francisco, who sponsored this bill, believes that this law is going to open doors for affordable home ownership by allowing these tiny homes, cottages, and these ADUs to be sold separately as condominiums. In a press release, he referred to this as a continuation of California's backyard revolution to promote affordable housing. The California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD, emphasized the need for ADUs due to the gap between the housing production and the demand. Over the last decade, less than half of the necessary homes were built. But is this really a solution to affordable housing? After I explain the details in this Assembly Bill 1033, you can then decide for yourself. In the description below, I have left links to a copy of the actual bill, a handbook about ADUs and conversions in California, as well as city-approved permits that you can then check out if you'd like after watching this video. Until now, ADUs built on one's property could only be rented out. They were not allowed to be sold. This new law seeks to extend that opportunity for more people to become homeowners by allowing them to purchase an ADU on a land owned by someone else. ADUs are quite common in California and throughout the country. Often they take the form of like a guest house or a converted garage located behind a larger home owned by the property owner. However, this new law will only be enacted in cities that have chosen to opt in and subject ADUs to the same regulations as those in condominiums. ADUs will have different property taxes from the homes that they're built besides. And each property will be required to form a homeowners association to assess costs for maintenance and shared space between the home and the ADUs. Supporters of this new law see it as a way to help individuals looking to buy their first home in a state where the housing shortages and the high prices just make it very unaffordable for most. It also aims to ease the burden on the homeowners themselves, especially like the elders who have their homes pretty much paid off but have a very limited income. Homeowners could also opt to then move into their ADU and sell the main house so that they can get more funds. With the current astronomical housing prices in California, where the average home can cost anywhere between $700,000 to over $1 million, many working families find home ownership just completely out of reach. Similar laws have been implemented in states like Texas and Oregon, as well as cities like Seattle, where it has led to significant increases in permits to build ADUs. In essence, this could bring about gentle density in many of these cities. Unlike high-density housing in areas with mid and high-rise residential buildings, gentle density refers to the development of single-family units within single-family zone neighborhoods. This basically helps maintain the neighborhood's characteristics while addressing the housing crisis that we're currently facing. However, it is important to note that AB 1033 permits the sale of ADUs independently from the primary residence. This potentially opens up more opportunities for buyers to afford reasonably priced homes, especially when they are first-time home buyers. Furthermore, ADUs offer a more affordable housing option than the 2,000 plus square feet home, which are no longer suitable for a lot of the smaller modern family. AB 1033 also has a benefit to current homeowners who might use the sale of the ADU to finance its construction. Additionally, it provides homeowners who prefer not to become landlords with the option to build an ADU for sale, increasing the opportunity for families to own homes. Now, let's delve into the specifics of this bill. The existing planning and zoning laws currently authorizes cities to establish accessory dwelling units in residential areas through ordinances and local government approvals. Previously, these laws prevented ADUs from being sold separately from the primary residence. This bill will allow cities and counties to create guidelines that will enable homeowners to sell their ADU while residing in their primary home. However, it necessitates the conversion of your main house into a condominium. This means that homeowners must draft CC&R guidelines, short for covenants, conditions, and restrictions, which all owners of this association must follow, including the original owner of the property. So if the owner decides to sell their ADU, they must establish CC&Rs for the two-unit association, including the primary home and the ADU. The bill doesn't specify how the land's ownership will be structured, leaving these details to the discretion of the city that decides to opt in for this bill. This can become a complex issue, so seeking advice from real estate attorneys in your state might be prudent. The bill also permits cities to limit short-term rentals within their jurisdiction, provided by the Davis-Sterling Common Interest Development Act. Whew, that's a mouthful. As a framework to developing any rules related to CC&Rs for properties that are being converted to condos. It's important to note that changing a property from a single family to a condo can potentially affect your ability to secure a loan for that property. Banks have varied lending guidelines from single family to condominiums due to the different risk. So it is important to keep this in mind and consult your lender to make sure that it is approved. Additionally, the bill stipulates that you need approval from your lien holder, usually the bank from which you obtained your original loan when you bought this property. Some lenders might not approve the sale of an ADU, and you're going to need to basically pay off that loan with cash or find another lender that will allow it and then potentially refinance that loan. The state has left many details to be determined by local government. Cities are not obligated to opt into this bill. The bill also sets limits on the size of your ADU. While each city may have its own ordinances regarding ADUs, the bill specifies that ADU cannot exceed more than 1,200 square feet in size. Cities are required to impose parking requirements except in this following circumstances. 1, where the ADU is located half a mile walking distance from a public transit. 2, where the ADU is located in a historic district or a designated historic district area. 3, where the ADU is part of the proposed or existing primary home. 4, where the street parking permits are required but are not offered to the occupant of that ADU. 5, when there is a car sharing service that is located within a block of that ADU. And finally, when the permit application for the ADU is submitted along with the permit application to create a single family dwelling unit or a multi-family dwelling unit on that same lot. It also says that the city is allowed to either deny permits for various reasons like zoning, building code violations, unpermitted structures, and like other things that they deem as necessary. If you're interested in obtaining more information about how to convert your ADU into a condominium and then sell it, I've provided links in the description. You can download a copy of the bill AB 133. And for those who are living in the San Diego area, I've also included the 2019 Companion Unit Handbook on ADUs to help guide you through this process. Many cities like San Diego offer pre-approved plans for various ADUs. If you use their approved plans, the city may actually waive the permitting fees that are required. Lastly, I've provided links to different counties in California to help you then gather more information. If you're unsure about your options and don't know where to start, feel free to connect with me and I'll answer your questions. I'm Scott and you've been Real Estate Informed.